Hey friends, you see the deities within the Hindu system are only a representation of the chakras within the body. All the millions and millions of deities within the Hindu system are mere representations of your experience of certain dimensions in existence. Um, in Hinduism, the chakra system is widely used. It's a very good way of measuring where you are and measuring where you should be. Certain methods will take you from one chakra to the other, keep you in one chakra, and keep you away from another chakra. I don't know if it's at all possible to fall, but it might be. It might be possible to fall from one to the other, or it might not be. I don't know. Let me know. It's very possible to stay in one chakra for a very, very long time. It's very possible to spend lifetimes in one chakra, and it's also very possible to make huge progress in one lifetime. It all depends on whether your desire is there to make progress, whether you have found an aversion towards suffering. If your aversion towards suffering is great enough for you to find a way out of it, then you are going to naturally lean towards methods that offer great results. Material methods to alleviate suffering hardly work. You're gonna drug, you're gonna alcohol, you're gonna do all these wonderful things, which is in its way a form of suffering after a certain amount of time. Spiritual methods are great for getting out of suffering, are great for going away from untruth to truth. These methods are everlasting. They are difficult, but they are everlasting. You see, when we're born and when we're introduced to this place, we are given certain identities by our appearances. And if we're born as a male, as a man, as a boy, as a young boy, we're given certain things to identify with. We're given a ball as a youngster, and we're told to go play and throw it around the place. As a woman, as a girl, we're given a pram, and we're told to go and push this around. Both of these things will mold us into who we should be later on in life. will mold us into the roles we need to take up later on in life. Society places roles and responsibilities on us at this very, very young age, and we're told not to step out of these roles. We're told not to venture forth into dimensions other than the ones put forth by the society. Most of us are operating only within the first chakra, Muladhara, or the root. And the root chakra is predominantly there for pleasure seeking and procreation. Very few of us will move to the next chakra, which is how it is. It is how it is. It's what society has taught us. It's what our parents have taught us. It's following the rules and all that is necessary in order to keep a society functioning. But following the rules will not transcend the society, will not transcend your mind, will not transcend the limitations of your mind. When you go from one chakra to the next, when you transcend your limitations, you transcend the limitations of society. If you're lucky enough, you reach the Agna. If you're even luckier, you reach the Sahasra within one lifetime. You become one rather than separate. Because right now you're existing as separate. You're existing as an individual life, a life you have created for yourself within your own mind, one that does not exist besides within your own mind. It's unfortunate, but it is the way it is. It's the way you've been taught to exist. You've been taught that this is a mother and this is a father, and you believe that this is the way it is. You are taught that this is the truth and it's not the truth. You're being taught that society is all that there is, when in fact the craving within you for more is a natural craving, but it's a craving that's only fulfilled by spiritual purposes, not material purposes. You can acquire all the wealth you want, but it's not fulfilling. You know this to be true, you know this to be a fact. But you could spend lifetimes entertained by existence, by moving in the spiritual dimensions. You can spend lifetimes being entertained by the experiences, because nothing is the same within the spiritual dimensions. The further and further and further you go from untruth, the more entertaining reality becomes. The further and further and further you go from untruth, the more and more the mind becomes less useful. The mind is only useful for you because you exist in a place where the mind is seen as important, where thoughts and ideas are seen as important, where the mind leads and everything else has to follow, where it should be the other way around. It's designed to be the other way around. It's designed that reality do the leading and the mind does the following. The further and further you go into the spiritual dimensions, the more you realize your thoughts and your ideas are utter nonsense. They really are. You identify with your limited knowledge of the cosmos, and you think you're a big man. It doesn't work like that. You're a tiny man on a tiny planet in a tiny universe, in a ever expansive, unboundless physical cosmos. And the spiritual dimensions are even greater than the physical. You need to be identifying with what you don't know. Do not be afraid to say you don't know. Not knowing is freedom. Not knowing why certain things are the way they are is freedom. It allows you to look for the answer. And that's what a seeker does. A seeker looks all the time. All the time is looking, all the time is seeking for the answers. But there's no answers. It's just the seeking that exists. And that's the spiritual. Namaskar. Have a good one, friends. Ciao.